Someone is manipulating you right now. And the scariest part? You're letting them. Every single day, the people around you, your coworkers, your friends, maybe even someone you love, are using psychological tricks on you without saying a word. Not because they're evil, but because the human brain is wired to influence, to control, and to protect itself. And if you don't know these tricks, you're completely defenseless. Today we're breaking down 6 mind tricks people use on you without you even knowing. Stay till the end, because number 6 is the one most people never see coming. Trick number 1, the silent treatment and why it's more powerful than words. Let me ask you something. Has someone ever gone quiet on you, and it drove you absolutely crazy? You kept replaying the conversation. You kept wondering what you did wrong. You started second-guessing yourself. That silence wasn't accidental. It's called strategic withdrawal. And psychologists have studied it for decades. Here's what happens in your brain when someone goes silent. Your mind hates uncertainty. It will do almost anything to resolve it. So you reach out. You apologize. You give them attention, even when you did nothing wrong. Think about it. A cold stare. A one-word reply. Reading your message and not responding. These are all forms of emotional leverage. The person using silence isn't just being quiet. They're making you come to them. They're making you feel responsible. They're putting themselves in control without lifting a finger. Here's the scary part. The more you care, the more powerful their silence becomes. And most of the time, they know exactly what they're doing. Trick number 2, mirroring, the trick that makes you trust strangers. Now this one is fascinating, and honestly, a little unsettling. Imagine you're talking to someone for the first time. They seem incredibly easy to talk to. You feel this weird connection. Like you've known them for years. You trust them almost immediately. What just happened? They were mirroring you. Mirroring is when someone subtly copies your body language, your tone, your words, even your breathing patterns. It's a technique used by FBI negotiators, top salespeople, therapists, and manipulators. When someone mirrors you, your brain unconsciously interprets it as, this person is just like me. And we trust people who are like us. Real-life example. You lean forward in your chair. They lean forward. You cross your arms. A few seconds later, they cross theirs. You use the word, honestly, a lot. Suddenly, they start using it too. It feels natural. It feels warm. It feels like chemistry. But here's the twist. It can be completely calculated. The next time someone feels instantly familiar to you, pay attention to how they're sitting. What words they're using. Because sometimes that connection isn't organic. Sometimes it's engineered. Trick number 3, the foot in the door technique, how small yes trap you. This one is used on you every single day. By advertisers. By bosses. By people in your personal life. And almost nobody catches it. It's called the foot in the door technique. And the concept is simple, but the effect is deeply psychological. Here's how it works. Someone asks you for something small. Something you'd obviously say yes to. Then, once you've agreed to the small thing, they come back with something bigger. And because you already said yes once, your brain feels compelled to stay consistent. Real-life example. Your colleague asks you to just take a quick look at their project. You say sure, it's small, no big deal. Then next week they ask you to basically do half the project. And because you already helped once, saying no feels wrong. It feels inconsistent. Psychologist Robert Cialdini calls this the principle of commitment and consistency. Once we say yes, we don't want to feel like we're going back on our word. This is where it gets interesting. The person using this trick on you doesn't need to be a mastermind. Most of the time they've just learned, consciously or unconsciously, that small requests open doors. And once that door is open, it's very hard to close. Trick number 4, gaslighting in disguise when reality gets rewritten. Okay, this one gets dark. And I want you to think about someone in your life as I explain this. Gaslighting isn't always obvious. It doesn't always look like someone screaming, that never happened. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, almost invisible. It sounds like, you're too sensitive. You're overthinking it. I never said that, you always misremember things. What's actually happening is someone is slowly, consistently making you doubt your own perception of reality. Psychologists trace the term back to a 1944 film called Gaslight, where a husband subtly manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her mind. But in real life, it's more common than most people want to admit. Here's the dark psychology behind it. When someone gaslights you, they're not just lying. They're attacking your confidence in your own mind. And once you stop trusting yourself, you start relying on them for truth. That's control. Complete and total control. Have you ever noticed this? Someone makes you feel confused after a conversation you were certain about going in. You walk away questioning yourself, not them. If that sounds familiar, trust your gut more than their words. Trick number 5. Love bombing. When too much feels too good. Most people think manipulation always feels bad. But what if it felt amazing? Love bombing is when someone overwhelms you with attention, compliments, affection, and praise, all at once, very early on in a relationship. They text you constantly. They tell you you're special. They make you feel like the most important person in the world. And your brain? It floods with dopamine. Feels like falling in love at warp speed. But here's the trap. Love bombing isn't about you. It's about creating dependency. Once you're hooked on that level of attention, once your brain has adapted to that intensity, they pull back. And suddenly you'll do anything to get that feeling back. Psychologists have found this pattern in narcissistic relationships, toxic friendships, and even manipulative work environments. The most chilling part? It often works on the most self-aware, intelligent people. Because when someone makes you feel that good, logic takes a back seat. And by the time you realize what happened, you're already in deep. Trick number 6, strategic vulnerability, the manipulation hidden in honesty. This is the one most people never see coming. We're taught that vulnerability is beautiful. That when someone opens up to you, it means they trust you. It means the connection is real. And sometimes that's absolutely true. But sometimes, it's a calculated move. Strategic vulnerability is when someone shares a personal story, a weakness, or a secret. Not because they're being genuine, but because they want something from you. Here's the psychology. When someone is vulnerable with you, your brain activates something called the reciprocity principle. You feel the urge to open up back, to trust them, to lower your guard. And once your guard is down, you're an open book. Real-life example. Someone you barely know tells you about their difficult childhood. You feel empathy. You feel connected. You start sharing your own struggles. Suddenly, they know your fears, your insecurities, your pressure points, and they didn't even have to ask. Therapists, negotiators, and, yes, manipulators all know this. Controlled vulnerability is one of the most powerful social tools in existence. Think about this. The next time someone opens up to you unusually fast, ask yourself, does this feel natural or does it feel like a door being opened? Because not every confession is innocent. Here's the truth. Understanding these tricks doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you protected. The people who fall for manipulation the hardest are usually the most trusting, the most empathetic, the most genuine. And that's not a weakness, it's a superpower that needs a shield. Now you have one. Silence. Mirroring. Foot in the door. Gaslighting. Love bombing. Strategic vulnerability. 6 tricks. 6 weapons. And now, 6 defenses. If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button and join MindUnlockedX, where we decode human behavior, expose the hidden forces shaping your mind, and give you the psychological tools to take back control. Your mind is powerful. It's time to unlock it.